everyone! Today I'm back in my kitchen. I'm going to do some more baking. So as you know, Valentine's Day is coming up, so I thought I would do some Valentine's baking. Not that I particularly celebrate Valentine's Day, I just love food. Today I'm going to be making sugar cookies. These are basically the cookies you had when you were a little kid. I thought, do you know what, it's a kid's recipe, it can't go wrong. I've got all my ingredients ready, so without further ado, let's go! Buzzing about this, love a cookie. Step numero 1. In a bowl with a wooden spoon, mix together the flour, the salt and the baking powder. Just remembered you have to sieve flour, lol. So 128 grams of flour into the bowl. Sieve, 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 sieve. A quarter teaspoon of baking powder in the bowl. And about half of a quarter of a teaspoon of salt into the bowl. Now I'm literally just going to mix this up with a wooden spoon and set it aside. This recipe is well easy so far. Step numero 2. In a large bowl, mix together the butter, which is here, and the sugar with an electric mixer until they're creamy. So for about 3 minutes, this recipe says. Quite a long time to stand and mix. Here is my mixture. Let's go and whisk it. Yay! And now the next step is to add the egg and the vanilla extract to that little mixture and mix it until it's well blended. But side note, you have to do it on a low speed, otherwise your house gonna be an eggy mess. No one wants that. I accidentally added way too much vanilla extract, but I like vanilla, so I'm hoping that's not a problem. And then the next thing you need to do is add this flour mixture that we did earlier to this mixture and blend it until it looks like little wet pebbles, is what it says on the website. Let's see how much I can make this look like a wet pebble. Oh my goodness, do you know what those look like? I think those look like wet pebbles. The next step is to take that mixture out of its bowl and dump it on the work surface, pack it into like a big solid ball. So that is what I'm gonna do now. This is my dough as one big solid mound. Forgot to say, make sure you wash the surface and your hands because otherwise it's gonna be gross. Now I've got to split this in half and squash it into 2 flat bits. Not sure why, to be honest, but let's give it a go. This is my dough now as 2 big flat things. Apparently I've got to wrap them in cling film and put them in the fridge. So here I've got my little flat discs of dough in cling film. This is so weird, I've never had to do this when I've baked anything before. And now, the recipe says, put these in the fridge until well chilled for about 1 hour. 1 hour. I should have read this recipe beforehand because I don't really have an hour to spare. But I've got to do what I've got to do for the baking. See you in an hour, I guess.
1 eternity later.
Hello everybody. 1 hour has now passed. And these bits of dough are a lot harder. So the next thing I'm going to do is preheat my oven to 150 degrees Celsius and grease a baking tray ready for me cookies. And voila, the baking tray is greased. I used the good old method of some cooking oil and your fingers. For the next step, we've got to move over there, so come on. Let's go. The next step is to sprinkle some flour onto your work surface, probably not as much as I've just done. Then you're going to unwrap one of your cookie doughs and put it on the flour, obviously. Done. You've got to put a little bit of flour on top of it as well so it don't stick to your rolling pin. Spoilers, we're going to roll a pin in it next. And now we're just going to roll it out a bit. I'm going to be using these 2 little heart cutters because obviously Valentine's Day. And obviously then put them on the baking tray. And then with the other one, I'm going to make a different shape. I'm going to do these as rectangles. Sorry you can't see me, this isn't the best way to film. Because these are going to be like little love letters. How cute. I didn't buy a rectangle cutter because I thought, what's the point? So I'm just going to try and cut rectangles out of this. And the next step is to put the cookies in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So friends, while my cookies are cooking, let's have a little chat. I've quite enjoyed these cookies. They're looking all right in the oven. It's a pretty easy recipe, can't really go wrong. If it had gone wrong, I'd have been very ashamed. The most difficult part by far was having to wait for an hour because I wasn't expecting that step and I didn't like it. But here are 5 things that you could do while your cookies are in the fridge. You could watch an hour-long documentary, walk your dog. As it's Valentine's Day, do something with your significant other. If you don't have one, have some chocolate and a little cry. Pop to the shop, but not for too long because you don't want to get distracted. You could pick up the essentials like bread, milk, jam, whatever. Since when is jam an essential? Or, number 5, like me, you could sit and scroll down Twitter for an hour and completely waste your time. And those are my 5 top tips of what to do while you wait. I think they're done. The next thing you need to do is use one of those bendy knives to get it off the tray because then they're not going to break. We hope. The envelopes turned out interesting. Oh, look at that. Slides off like a dream. Only 3 cookies did not survive, which is pretty good going for me. So while I eat the cookies that did not survive, we're going to wait for the other cookies to cool down before we decorate them. Actually taste all right, you know. for once. Okay, I am back and my cookies are cool. I've decided, right, because the measurements I've used with everything are so here, there and everywhere, I'm not going to put them in the description below. I'm just going to leave a link to the recipe that I use and then you can sort of work out yourself. Let's get on with decorating them. So to make the icing, you need sugar, warm water, light corn syrup. I didn't know what that was, nor could I get any, so I'm going to use golden syrup and hope that it's the same thing. So I've got to put all of that into a bowl and whisk it. Let's do that. This is the syrup that I'm using. It's for your breakfast. Let's hope it's all right. And of course we need red food colouring. I'm going to put a little bit of this in and then add some more if I need it. So this red paste is just for the little hearts, so I'm going to just put this on in like a V shape, so kind of like a heart. Do you know what? I've done a couple like this. And the top is basically just sugar and water. So instead, I'm going to use strawberry and champagne jam. So it might not look the best, but I'm sure that's going to taste much better. So now that my hearts are done, I'm going to put some of this little white mini pearls on them, just to make them look a little bit pretty. Ta-da! Next up, envelopes. For this I've bought some ready to roll white icing, so I'm going to sprinkle some icing sugar on my surface and roll out a little bit of that first of all. I'm going to now try to cut them to size a little bit. I'm just going to grab this red icing, which I've bought for actually a bit later on. You will see it's for the next step. I'm going to use this to stick the sheet of icing to the cookie. Ta-da! And then the next step, with the red icing, I'm going to draw two little lines, just in a little V. I'm going to stick one of these little hearts in the middle to make an envelope. Ta-da! Look how cute the little love letter looks. Oh, I like that one. I'm going to do that for the rest of the envelopes now. And finally, after a long day of baking, I would like to present to you my cookies. Do you know what? I actually think this is probably my best bake yet. Fair enough, the hearts aren't great, but I think the envelopes look amazing. But we all know that I've got to do a taste test. Right, here it goes, big taste test. I'm going to do an envelope. I'm impressed with that. It's edible. Not my favourite cookie in the world. I mean, can't beat a Maryland. But as my baking goes, this is very good. The biscuit came out right. Icing went okay. I would give this an 8 out of 10. Nice one, Han. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me bake my Valentine's cookies. I'm going to give them out to my friends and family. I know my boyfriend would hate these. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below. Would you like to see more baking videos from me? Because I will do that if you want it. Do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, thank you for watching and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!